What if every decision you've made as a leader was based on flawed assumptions? What if the very foundation of your strategy is already broken? Here's the shocking truth. 70% of strategic plans fail. And here's the question you need to ask yourself. Will your strategy be one of them?
Welcome back to Critical Thinking Secrets, the channel that gets you to think, well, critically!
The reality? Strategic thinking isn't optional. It's survival. It's the skill that propels careers forward, keeps organizations competitive, and ensures leaders can adapt when the ground shifts beneath them. Strategic planning and adaptability are the twin engines of leadership, and measuring outcomes is the compass that keeps you on course.
And if you want to stop making the same mistakes over and over again and again, then get the Critical Thinking Toolkit now. It'll help you break the cycle, give you clear frameworks, checklists, and smarter choices. Don't let tomorrow look like yesterday. Grab the toolkit today. Tap the link in the description below.
Strategic thinkers don't run from complexity, they run toward it. Picture Netflix in 2007. DVDs were still profitable, but Reed Hastings saw deeper patterns in consumer behavior and technology. Instead of clinging to the old model, Netflix embraced change, pivoted to streaming, and later into original content. That's the hallmark of strategic thinking, harnessing complexity rather than fearing it. But what happens when your assumptions are wrong? Think of Kodak. Their fatal belief was that film would always dominate. That single assumption destroyed them. Strategic thinkers constantly ask, what if we're wrong? They challenge the foundation of their plans, knowing that if the base is shaky, the entire structure collapses. And here's the secret. Strategic thinking isn't a checklist, it's a mindset. Leaders like Satya Nadella at Microsoft questioned the status quo, embraced cloud computing, and transformed the company. A strategic mindset means curiosity, resilience, and the courage to learn from failure. It's about navigating today's complexity with an eye on tomorrow. A plan is worthless until it becomes action. Think of Tesla. Their vision wasn't just electric cars. It was factories rising from the ground, lithium supply chains secured, and production scaled to meet demand. Strategic goals became executable projects with timelines, accountability, and relentless follow-through. But here's the real test. Where do you put your resources? Amazon didn't dominate e-commerce by spreading itself thin. They poured billions into logistics, warehouses, and cloud computing. Every dollar, every hour, every hire was aligned with their long-term strategy. Resource allocation is the heartbeat of execution. It reveals what a company truly values. And execution doesn't end once the plan is in motion. Strategies must be tested against reality. Spotify thrives because it constantly monitors user data, refining playlists, algorithms, and features to match listener behavior. Monitoring validates assumptions, exposes flaws, and ensures strategies evolve with the market. Without that feedback loop, even the best-laid plans drift off course. What happens when leadership isn't confined to the boardroom, but spreads across every level of an organization? Leadership isn't confined to the C-suite any longer. Toyota's lean manufacturing system answered that question. On their assembly lines, any worker could stop production if they spotted a flaw. That simple empowerment turned every employee into a leader, ensuring quality and accountability were woven into the company's DNA. But leadership alone isn't enough. Strategic initiatives need champions. And not just any champions. Champions who can inspire belief. Think of Apple's launch of the iPhone. It wasn't just a product release, it was a global movement. The way Apple promoted its initiative transformed a piece of technology into a cultural phenomenon. Promotion builds momentum, and momentum drives execution. And then comes the hardest part, making the tough calls. Howard Schultz at Starbucks once closed thousands of stores for retraining, sacrificing short-term profits to refocus on customer experience. That decision was painful, but it aligned with the company's long-term vision. Effective decision-making means choosing the path that advances strategy, even when it hurts in the moment. What happens when markets shift faster than companies can react? Blockbuster learned the hard way. They ignored the rise of streaming, clung to late fees, and watched Netflix steal their customers. Strategic thinkers don't just adapt to market changes, they anticipate them, aligning innovation with shifting dynamics before disruption hits. And sometimes disruption isn't about reacting, it's about rewriting the rules. Overturning conventions. Airbnb didn't ask how to compete with hotels, they asked how to redefine travel. By offering authenticity, affordability, and community, they overturned decades of industry convention. Disruptive business models thrive because they identify unmet needs and deliver unexpected solutions that resonate deeply with customers. But disruption doesn't happen in a vacuum. It requires a culture where innovation can flourish outside it. At Google, employees were encouraged to spend 20% of their time on passion projects. Out of that freedom came Gmail, one of the company's most successful products. Strategic leaders know that fostering innovation inside the organization is just as important as spotting opportunities outside it. How do you know if your strategy is working or if it's quietly failing? Success must be measurable, and the best leaders define what winning looks like before the game begins. Starbucks, for example, tracks customer satisfaction relentlessly, using metrics like Net Promoter Scores and feedback loops to refine its strategy. Clear goals and tailored KPIs keep the organization aligned and focused on what matters most. But measuring isn't just about numbers, it's about learning. Consider Amazon's Fire Phone, a spectacular flop by most standards. Yet instead of burying the failure, Amazon dissected it. The lessons learned fueled the creation of Alexa and Echo, products that reshaped the smart home market. Evaluating outcomes means asking, not only did we succeed, but also what did we learn? Every result, good or bad, becomes fuel for future strategy. The real impact of strategic thinking isn't just in hitting targets, it's in evolving. Organizations that measure, reflect, and adapt don't just survive disruption, they turn it into opportunity. Strategic thinking isn't about predicting the future, it's about shaping it. The leaders who embrace complexity, challenge assumptions, execute relentlessly, empower every level, disrupt boldly, and measure impact. They don't just survive, they thrive. The only question left is, will you?
Finally, remember, critical thinking isn't about being a skeptic. It's about being a seeker. You're not trying to poke holes for the sake of it, you're aiming for the best outcome with the information you have. We've only scratched the surface. The Critical Thinking Toolkit is full of checklists, mental models, and hands-on guides to help you sidestep common pitfalls and think with clarity and confidence. Whether you're solving problems, making decisions, or just trying to sharpen your perspective, it's a resource you'll keep coming back to. Curious? Check out the link in the description.
Thank you for joining us today. Enjoyed this video? For a more in-depth analysis, visit our website, www.criticalthinkingsecrets.com to read the full article. Please like, share, and subscribe. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you stay up to date with our latest weekly release content. We have over 300 videos on our channel to help kickstart your critical thinking journey. Also, as an added bonus, just for supporting our channel, you can download our free critical thinking ebook. So go ahead and click the link below. Till next time, keep those critical thinking gears turning. Thank you for watching.